I could care less. And yet from episode 1, they thrust these people down our throats. I don't care about them. I really don't. I'm not interested. Hi people, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time, it's Talia Dewali. We're talking about She and Her Perfect Husband, which is a 2022 Chinese drama series starring Yang Mi and Xu Kai. I think that's how you say his name. Do all the right things, you guys know what to do, and let's just get into it. Because I had very polarizing thoughts about this story. First, I watched it because of Xu Kai. I love Yang Mi from Eternal Love. I think she is absolutely walking perfection. She was gorgeous in this. I don't know how these people stay as stunning as they do. She's in her 30s. I think she's 36. He, I think, is 26, so she does have 10 years on him. But like, she looked perfect. They made a very weird, awkward, beautiful couple. His character in this was completely different from his character in Falling Into Your Smile. Not necessarily, but yeah, it was more serious and it had a lot more heavy things going for him in this one than his character in Falling Into Your Smile. But I just thought that I wanted to see him, just see more of him. I like him. He's one of the tops for me. I don't have that many guys. Yang is number 1. Everybody else can follow under him, you know. But I just wanted to see him, and I read up about this series for my next, drama series that I was doing, Chinese dramas, and they said it was good, so I decided that I was going to watch it. But let's get into the story. So, it blends romance, legal drama, lots of legal jargon, Jesus, and a slice of life elements, telling the story of Jingxi, who's played by Yang Mi. I think it's Xinxi. Guys, sorry. QS. An ambitious lawyer, and Yang Hua, who's played by Xu Kai, a reserved and socially detached man who enter a fake marriage that leads to unexpected emotional entanglements. The series gained significant attention due to the high-profile cast, modern themes, mature romance, but the question was, did it live up to all of those expectations and the hype? I would say yes and no. Let's get into it. So we're just going to be talking about strengths and weaknesses, guys. For story and pacing, the strengths. The fake marriage trope, I think it was very well executed. There were some hang-ups here and there. Why they introduced a child into the fake marriage scenario didn't make sense to me. I think the fake marriage was good enough. She didn't have to bring up this child that was living abroad. I guess it's not really an unusual thing in China for them to send their kids abroad to live with, relatives and all that. But for me, I thought there was another element that she didn't need in the story. The natural character development, that leads from strangers to partners to lovers was beautifully done. The way both of them understood the assignment and understood each other while in the assignment and fell for each other, they did it so well. The way they would communicate, and she just understood his personality and just said, this is what we're dealing with, let's go with it. When he would speak on things that he knows, when he would do his financial analysis and it would turn her on, I thought I loved it. I loved it. The way she looked at him and just went realized that she was sapiosexual. I loved it, especially when it came to him. Fantastic. The workplace setting does add realism to it, and it shows the challenges faced by professionals, especially professional women in China's legal world. I did not like her boss. The boss started out really nice, and then they turned her into this oily, sleek, snakish character. You're not meant to like the boss, but then it ends on a good note, and it's like, I don't understand. This woman literally played in your face, literally tried to stunt your career, literally did everything in her power just to show you that she was the boss, and you guys are just teetering, kicking and laughing at the end of it. No, I hate it when they do that. I really do, because that's not how life works, but it is what it is, guys. The woman who played her boss was the mother in Will Love in Spring, and I really liked her in that. I thought that she was fantastic in that. That role was heavy, and I thought that she executed it really well. She was really good in this. Honestly, the only reason why you hate her so much is because she's playing it so well. So kudos to the actress. Don't know her name, but I think she killed it. The gradual romance. So the romance was very slow paced, but it doesn't really feel slow paced just because of the dynamic and the way they are executing it in the fake marriage. So it's not rushed, but it's not slow either. And I thought that really made it believable, especially building up to the end when everything came to a head. We will talk about the end in a bit, but yeah, I did like that. The emotional depth of the entire story. The drama explores societal pressures on women to marry. It also explores gender dynamics and personal growth. And these are the things that made me really appreciate the entire series. I think it was 30 episodes. It's in the 30 episode range, if I remember correctly, or maybe 40. Can't remember. It's between there. You know, Chinese dramas are always in the excess, so it's between that range. But like the way they used each, I would say, phase to break it down, I thought that they did a very good job. You know, exploring the pressures that these women have to face. At first, it's like, if a woman is single, she will not be promoted. Then if a woman is married, she will not be promoted. If a woman is childless, she will not be promoted. If a woman has a child, she will not be promoted. What do they want from us? It was like, I don't understand. They just keep looking for excuses not to promote women, and it warps my mind. That was my frustration going through this whole thing, because we've seen stories where they're like, oh, she's single, she can't move up in this thing, or she has a family, she'll concentrate on that. Like, what do you want? What do you want? And then the gender dynamics again coming into things in the workplace and even in personal lives, because they were dealing with celebrities, you know, women cheating, men cheating, extortion. They dealing with a lot, and they really did take their time, and they managed to not make it. They managed to not make it drag throughout the entire episode and throughout the entire season, and I really appreciated that. And then personal growth. So QS goes from this woman who, you know, was forced into playing this married role. It wasn't even by choice. It was forced upon her in order for her to get this job. She takes it on because her dad has been divorced God so many times. She has this, you know, perception of marriage now and what that entails. Meeting Yang Hua, and then finding out that he also has this perception of marriage and what all of that entails because of his own past relationships and his social awkwardness, or just the way he is, you know, when it comes to dealing with marriages. Both of them meeting each other and influencing each other's minds and mindsets, and then them growing into these people who appreciated each other and the relationship that they had foisted for themselves in this fake marriage, you know, to getting to the point where they want to actually be together and to create some lifelong happiness and just be, you know, I liked it. I thought that the personal growth was fantastic. Honestly, I did. Let's talk about some weaknesses. Pacing wasn't bad. I won't call it a weakness. However, the side characters were unnecessary. The brother and the best friend, his wife, I could care less. And yet from episode 1, they thrust these people down our throats. I don't care about them. I really don't. I'm not interested. You know, the ex-boyfriend not telling his fiance why he didn't marry QS in the first place, and making the fiance use her money and influence to, you know, basically try and bully QS and just make her life miserable at work. I thought that was uncalled for. Stand on your 10 toes. If you know that your family rejected this girl because she's from a divorced home, tell your fiance that, and don't make it seem like she was completely at fault. Her story obviously influenced things. So she and the ex had been broken up for 2 years. But her marriage story was that she's been married for 2 years, but also has a 2.5-year-old. So the ex is sitting there thinking she cheated on me while we were in a relationship. And the fiance, who is like gaga for her ex, you know, powerhouse, I want to fight your battles for you, takes it upon herself to make QS's life miserable at their workplace, you know? So it's like, clear things up. I didn't really like the ex. I didn't like the way he was carrying shoulders, knowing fully well what his mother had said about QS and how his mother had treated her just because she came from a divorced home. I hated it. The holier, mightier than thou attitude, I didn't like it. I didn't respect him in one bit. And then the ending was a strong weakness for me because at I wasn't sure, by the end of it, I wasn't sure if they were divorced or separated. Because one thing, they go their separate ways. The sister-in-law is giving birth, so you know at least 9 months has gone by. And then next thing, he's moving in next door and they're kissing on the couch. It's like, what happened? Did I miss some episodes? I've been watching 40 episodes. Where are the missing episodes? So it didn't make sense for me, you know? They really did leave a lot of things unresolved. And I'm like, okay, why would you give us all of this and then not really follow through in the end? So that was a letdown for me. They end up together, so obviously I'm happy about that. But the way they ended up together without any explanation in between was kind of a letdown for me. Third weakness for me, the legal jargon. It was her profession, so I knew it was in this, but it was heavy. And I feel like that's what made it not drag. The pacing issues, there was no pacing issues for me because there was a lot of legal battles and, legal intrigue in between. However, I barely understand legal jargon when it's English. So when you put Mandarin or Cantonese in there, I think it's Mandarin. I can't be sure, guys. It's just like, woo, woo, woo. So half the time I'm like, wait, is she cheating? Is he? What? Wait. Who took money? Which there was one case where it was Lao Yen Group, Yang Lao, Ling Lao. I was like, who? What? Where? And I could not be bothered to go back and check, guys, because like I said, if it's not Boston Legal, I don't care. Boston Legal is the only legal drama that I have ever been interested in, that I have ever watched multiple times, and that I will ever rewatch multiple times. So a lot of the legalities and the legal battles that went on in this, I really wasn't paying that much attention, to be honest. But the way it was used in it, I could tell that it was interesting. That is the best way that I can describe it for you. Like I said, the characters were great. Yang Mi is excellent. This is the second thing that I've seen her in, and I'm not even over the first thing I saw her in, which was Eternal Love. I'm still not over it. She is confident in this. She's career driven. She knows what she wants. She's strong, vulnerable, and charming, all at the same time, which makes her a very likable protagonist. I really enjoyed her in this, and I like the breakdown for her, for when the personal growth, happened, and she realized that this guy was the person she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. Loved it. Shukai is good. He's a very talented actor. I would say I prefer his character in Falling Into Your Smile, because these are the only two things that I've seen him in, than I did in this one. He was reserved and introverted, and as much as I liked that he was extremely intelligent, half the time I wasn't really sure what was going on with him in this. I'm guessing that that's how the character was written. It wasn't my favorite character, but I do like him. It wasn't anything distracting, So I'm excited to watch him in other stuff. I know there's other recent Chinese dramas that he has done, romantic Chinese dramas that he has done. I'm excited to go look for him in that. He was very soft-spoken in this. There was not one time that he yelled, ever. Even when the ex was trying to get back in with his, fake wife, he didn't raise his voice 1 decibel, Extremely intelligent and became independent. He wasn't at first, but he does become independent. And I thought that their chemistry worked very well together. They did very well. Their kissing chemistry was fine. It wasn't anything that I will be, singing from the rooftops. Best kissing chemistry I have seen in a Chinese drama so far has been Hidden Love. I think those guys, I don't know if they practiced off screen, but whatever they did, it worked well. I liked Yang Yang and Diliraba, but I would say, Yang Yang and Diliraba weren't bad in You Are My Glory. They weren't bad at all, but Hidden Love is definitely, they're higher than Yang Yang and Diliraba. I'm calling her Diliraba because that's what my cousin says her name is. My cousin is Chinese, guys. So I will follow what the Chinese person says. If not, I was calling her Dilraba for a long time. The supporting cast, like I said, QS's family, even though they brought humor into this, the obsession with marriage and divorce was frustrating, and honestly they took out from the story for me. The amount of focus that they placed on her brother and his wife was vexing to me. I did not find that side plot interesting at all. At all. I would have preferred if they had done a side plot where her frenemy from work, the other female lawyer, was developing something on the side with somebody else. I think that would have been a whole other, ball game, and a more interesting story than her brother and his wife. All in all, it was great. I think that especially if you like legal drama and if you understand the language and you like legal drama, I feel like this would be a solid one for you. Me, the legal drama, I could have done without it, even though I know that it was intense. It was actually really intense. Every single case that they dealt with was very intense, and I knew that it was interesting. But like I said, if it's not Boston Legal, I check out. But all these other things aside, it is still a solid 8.9 out of 10 for me. I thought that it was good for what they delivered to us, and I would honestly watch it over again. If I wanted to, I would, because I thought that the chemistry between the leads was palpable enough, and the development, their own story, their own development to how it ended was good, even though they missed some steps, to that last episode. I would say overall, they did a very good job. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Be sure to do all the right things, and I'll see you in the next one.